What's up guys, welcome to Wasted Space, and we're back in Space Engineers with the last of the Planet Competition Spotlight. So this is the last of the vehicles that I'm kind of considering to be on the shortlist for the grand prize. Obviously we've still got the subcategories to deal with, but there'll be some details about all of that and the voting procedure coming up nearer the end of this video. First we're going to take a look at the very cool AVLB by MattPlaysSimulations. So this is basically a bridge layer, and a bridge layer that's not too dissimilar in appearance and function to a real-life military bridge layer. So from that respect, actually kind of cool right off the bat. But more importantly, it functions in a very similar way as well. So I'm going to be using some pre-recorded footage in the background, because this one's it's kind of difficult to demonstrate live because you're using it via an antenna and a remote control and cameras and so on. It's a lot of flicking around. So what I've done is pre-recorded some footage of basically me laying a bridge down over a gap. And as you can see, you're basically positioning yourself in position, unlocking the parts on top, and this is a modded entry and it needs it. So the bridge itself is locked on using the mag locks, and it also uses the conveyor hinges, both of which are really handy mods and kind of required for this build to make sense and work like it does. And as you can see, you merely unlock the top part, use the rotor and the piston on the front end to kind of lift the bridge up a little bit and then start unfolding it up, and then as it reaches its sort of pinnacle, the 90-degree point, there is a conveyor hinge and another maglock to start swinging the bridge open. And then the cool part about this, I guess, is the fact that it's fully reusable. So at the end of that process, you can lock the whole thing in place, weigh it down using artificial mass, and separate from it. Send whatever vehicles it is that you want to send over it. I mean, I've been using things like the Trailblazer and the Rock Crawler from previous videos, just as a sort of test. Does it work with other vehicles other than itself? And yes, it most certainly does. In fact, it's quite a nice size. It seems to be that sort of scale that fits well with wheels that exist in the game. And then, once people have crossed whatever it is you need to do, the AVLB can travel over itself, pick the whole thing back up again, fold it all back up again, and continue with the convoy. And that side of things is actually really clever. It means that the groups behind this have been set up very well, the toolbars have been set up very well to mean that it doesn't matter which end you connect up on. When you do connect up, everything functions exactly the same as it did before. Nothing's changed, nothing's confusing, and obviously you can pick it back up and drive on. It's also been quite nicely set up with cameras and the like, so that you can use it reasonably effectively without having line of sight on it at all. So someone could be controlling it from within another vehicle, and it's of a sort of size where it could even be carried within another vehicle and then deployed when necessary. Or, and I think this is sort of an overall advantage of the whole design, and one of the reasons why I think this one was worth spotlighting is, as a concept, it's great. This can be scaled up, it can be scaled down, well, perhaps not too far down. I don't think you can make it much smaller than it is. But you could certainly make it quite a lot bigger using exactly the same techniques and create something for crossing larger gaps, or create something for just moving larger vehicles. So from that perspective, it's a very cool concept. Now obviously this doesn't do much other than lay bridges, so there's not a whole amount else I can tell you about it. It is, as usual, down in the description down below, link to the workshop, so go and check that out if you thought this was pretty cool. What I now want to talk a little bit about is how the end of this competition is going to work, and while I do so, I'm going to stick some clips in the background of some of the notable mentions, some of the ships that I've really enjoyed but haven't had a spotlight yet, haven't had a chance, or I just, there's so many of you guys that entered, I couldn't do a video on everybody. So I thought, stick some of those cooler ones up in the background, some of the clips I've been doing while I've been testing what you've designed for it. And at the same time, we'll talk a bit about this voting process, because down in the description down below is a link to a Google form, and I'd really like all of you guys to go down there, have a look at the form, and pick one person from the non-modded and one person from the modded categories to essentially be the person you think made the coolest thing out of the lot. So it's from the short list of the videos I put up. Feel free, I put links there. Please go and rewatch the videos if you have no idea what the entries are. But then pick the one that really made some impact for you, you thought was the best design for planets. And then at the end of this week, so next Saturday, when I normally do a video on a Saturday, I will release the end of the competition video, detail all the prizes, who won everything, do a final spotlight on the guys that are going to be winning the subcategories, which is something I'm going to be deciding. And then in the week following that, there'll be a diorama video, like I've mentioned before, where I try and get all of your creations onto the map at once, show off everybody's together so that everybody gets a chance for a little bit of the spotlight on the channel, because there was just over 100 entries for this competition, so there's no way I can spotlight everyone. I've done my very best to try and be fair, try and be objective with the guys I've chosen to spotlight and so on, but of course, I can't please everybody with this. There can only be so many winners, I've only got so much time to spotlight things, so Apologies if you feel like you missed out on your design, missed something cool you did. Hopefully this planets competition has been fun for you all regardless, giving you something to look forward to as far as planets is concerned. And of course, I'm very much looking forward to next weekend when I can announce the big winners, give them their prizes, and to be honest, get this planets competition wrapped up, because it's been great fun, but a lot of work. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as usual, please hit like, please hit share. Really helps me and the channel out. And otherwise, I will catch you next time.